Imagine for a moment that you are a high-frequency radio receiver. You are built to pick up subtle signals, distant melodies, and profound messages that others simply cannot hear. Now, imagine taking that delicate, sophisticated instrument and placing it directly next to a massive, screaming industrial loudspeaker playing static noise at maximum volume. What happens? The receiver doesn't just stop working, it overloads, it screeches, it might even break. This is exactly what happens to your soul when you are forced to endure large crowds, superficial gatherings, or chaotic environments for too long. If you are watching this, it is likely because you have felt this specific kind of exhaustion. It is not just physical tiredness, it is a deep, marrow-deep fatigue that sleep alone cannot fix. You walk into a room full of people, and within minutes you feel a sudden drop in your mood, a heavy pressure in your chest, or an inexplicable urge to leave. For years, you may have told yourself that you are just introverted, or perhaps socially awkward. You might have even wondered if there is something wrong with you, because you cannot seem to enjoy the parties, the concerts, or the crowded malls that everyone else seems to love. But I am here to tell you today that there is nothing wrong with you. In fact, this reaction is a sign that everything is right with your spiritual system. You are a chosen one, a term we use not to imply superiority, but to describe a specific spiritual function and energetic constitution. And because of this, you simply cannot exist in the same way others do. The sponge effect. Why you absorb everything. To understand why you cannot be around too many people, we must first understand the nature of your energy field. Most people have what we might call dense or shielded energy fields. They can walk through a storm of emotions, anger, jealousy, anxiety, and not get wet. They interact with the surface of life. But you do not have a shield. You have a porous membrane. You are an energetic sponge. When you are in a crowd, you are not just seeing faces and hearing voices. You are processing thousands of invisible data points every second. You feel the unspoken sadness of the stranger standing next to you. You sense the suppressed anger of a coworker. You pick up on the anxiety floating in the shopping center. You are constantly downloading the emotional and psychic state of everyone around you, often without realizing it. Think of it like a computer with too many tabs open. Eventually, the system slows down. It freezes. It crashes. When you are around too many people, your spiritual RAM is fully consumed by processing external energy. You lose your connection to your own center because you are too busy subconsciously transmuting the heavy energy of the collective. This is why you feel drained. You have been doing heavy spiritual lifting, carrying weights that do not belong to you. The vibrational mismatch. There is a fundamental law in the universe. Everything is vibration. As a chosen one, as someone on a path of awakening, your frequency is shifting. You are vibrating at a rate that seeks truth, authenticity, light, and expansion. However, the vast majority of the world is still operating on a different frequency, one often dominated by survival, ego, competition, and fear. When you place two tuning forks of different frequencies next to each other, they create dissonance. They do not harmonize. They clash. This is what you feel in your body when you are surrounded by people who are not aligned with your path. It is a physical and energetic resistance. The chosen one often feels like a puzzle piece from a different puzzle. You try to fit into the picture of the group, but your edges don't match. This vibrational mismatch makes social interactions incredibly taxing. You have to lower your voltage just to have a conversation, just to fit in, just to not appear weird or intense. You find yourself engaging in small talk about the weather, sports, or celebrity gossip, while your soul is screaming for depth, for meaning, for something real. This act of dimming your light to accommodate the comfort of others is exhausting. It drains your life force. Take a moment to reflect on your last social gathering. Did you leave feeling inspired and energized, or did you leave feeling empty and heavy? Your body is your most honest guide. If you feel the latter, it is time to stop forcing yourself into environments that poison your spirit. Before we continue deeper into why this isolation is actually your greatest power, I invite you to support this channel. If you recognize yourself in these words, please click the like button. It helps us find other souls who are wandering, thinking they are alone in this feeling. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the guidance you need for your journey. It is important to realize that this is not just a spiritual concept. There is a biological component to it. Many chosen ones are what psychology calls highly sensitive people, HSP. Your nervous system is wired differently. You perceive lights as brighter, sounds as louder, and emotions as more intense. In a crowd, your senses are under assault. But spiritually, this sensitivity is your superpower. It is designed to help you detect truth from lies, safety from danger. When you are alone, your intuition is loud and clear. When you are in a crowd, that intuition gets drowned out by the static of the collective ego. The universe isolates the chosen ones not to punish them, but to protect them. You are being pulled away from the herd because you are not meant to follow the herd. You are meant to lead, to heal, or to create a new path entirely. You cannot hear the whisper of your destiny if you are constantly surrounded by the screaming demands of society. The isolation you feel, that urge to run away to a cabin in the woods or to lock yourself in your room, is a divine instruction. It is your soul telling you, protect the asset. You are the asset. Your energy is the asset. And right now, the crowd is bankrupting you. Let's go deeper into the mechanics of why crowds feel so abrasive to you. It is not just about volume or noise, it is about truth. As a chosen one, your internal compass is magnetized toward authenticity. You crave real connections, deep conversations, and honesty. However, the social fabric of large groups is almost entirely woven from small lies. Think about the standard social gathering. It is a performance. People ask how are you, but they don't want a real answer. They smile when they are angry. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny just to fit in. To the average person, this is just being polite or having social skills. But to you, this feels like scratching your nails down a chalkboard. Because your spirit is tuned to a higher frequency of truth, being around inauthenticity physically hurts. It creates a cognitive and energetic dissonance in your body. When you are forced to participate in this charade, to wear a mask, to dim your light, to pretend you care about trivial things, you are betraying your own soul. This betrayal has a cost. It manifests as a deep, draining fatigue. You aren't just tired from socializing. You are tired from lying. You are exhausted from the effort it takes to suppress your true nature just to make others comfortable. There is another, more uncomfortable reason why you struggle in groups, and it has nothing to do with you being sensitive. It is about how others react to you. Have you ever walked into a room, said nothing, and yet felt immediate hostility or awkwardness from certain people? Have you noticed that people seem to either love you intensely or dislike you instantly, with no middle ground? This is the mirror effect. Because you carry a high vibrational light, you act as a spiritual mirror. When you stand before people who have not done their inner work, your light shines directly into their dark corners. Without you saying a word, your presence highlights their insecurities, their compromises, and their hidden shadows. You remind them subconsciously of who they could be but chose not to be. This makes people uncomfortable. In a crowd, this dynamic is amplified. You might find that you become the target of subtle jabs, exclusion, or weird energy games. People try to bring you down to their level because your vibration makes their level feel inadequate. Being in this kind of environment is like walking through a minefield. You have to constantly dodge the projections and insecurities of others. It is no wonder you prefer the safety of solitude. Why would you want to be in a place where your very existence irritates the demons in others? Let's talk about the economics of energy. In every interaction, there is an exchange. In healthy relationships, this exchange is reciprocal, like a game of tennis. The ball goes back and forth. But in large crowds or with unconscious people, the dynamic changes. You are a generator of high-frequency energy. You are likely empathetic, kind, and a good listener. The crowd, generally speaking, is hungry. The matrix society creates people who are energetically starved, disconnected from source, disconnected from their purpose. When you enter a space, you are like a fresh battery tossed into a pile of dead toys. Subconsciously, people feel your power. They gravitate toward you. They dump their trauma on you. They keep you trapped in conversations where they talk at you, not with you. You leave these interactions feeling hollowed out, while they leave feeling refreshed. They have fed on your light. This isn't necessarily malicious. Most people don't know they are doing it, but the result is the same. You are being depleted. If you continue to allow this uneven exchange, you will burn out. You will become cynical, bitter, and physically ill. The universe does not want this for you. This is why, as you ascend in your journey, the number of people you can tolerate decreases. It is a protective mechanism to stop the leakage of your vital life force. Here is a metaphor you must engrave in your mind. Pigeons flock in the thousands. They fight over scraps of bread on the concrete, moving in chaotic, noisy swarms. They are safe in numbers, but they never fly high. Eagles, on the other hand, fly alone. You never see a flock of eagles. They require vast amounts of sky to hunt, to see, to soar. If you are an eagle, you cannot squeeze yourself into a flock of pigeons and expect to be happy. You will clip your own wings trying to fit in. You will starve because you are not meant to eat scraps off the pavement. The loneliness you feel is simply the price of the altitude you are meant to fly at. The higher you go, the thinner the air, and the fewer the people. This is not a tragedy. It is physics. As you elevate your consciousness, the pool of people who can meet you at that level naturally shrinks. This can feel isolating at first, and you might grieve the loss of your old social life. You might wonder, why can't I just be normal? But deep down, you know the answer. You were never meant to be normal. You were meant to be free. I want you to pause and ask yourself a difficult question. How much of my life have I spent apologizing for my nature? How many times have you said yes to a party when your soul screamed no? How many times have you sat in a room full of people, smiling, while feeling like you were slowly dying inside? The guilt you feel when you decline an invitation is not yours, it is programmed conditioning. Society tells us that being social is the ultimate good and being alone is a failure. But for the chosen one, solitude is the laboratory of the spirit. It is the only place where the noise stops long enough for God, the universe, or your higher self to speak. In the next part of this video, we will discuss how to turn this solitude into your greatest weapon. We will talk about how to protect your energy without becoming a hermit, and how to find your true soul tribe, the few rare eagles who can fly with you. But for now, sit with this realization. Your intolerance for the crowd is not a weakness. It is your wings demanding room to spread. We have explored the heavy burden of the crowd and the energetic cost of fitting in. Now, we must shift our perspective. We need to stop looking at your isolation as a symptom of a problem and start seeing it as the solution. Society conditions us to believe that being alone means you are unwanted, unloved, or broken. But for the chosen one, solitude is none of those things. Solitude is a sanctuary. It is the only state in which your nervous system can reset and your energetic field can repair the tears caused by the friction of the world. Think of the caterpillar. When it is time to transform into a butterfly, it does not call a meeting, it does not gather a group of friends. It isolates itself completely inside a chrysalis. It requires total containment to undergo the violent and beautiful process of metamorphosis. If you were to cut open that cocoon prematurely to help it or force it to socialize, the butterfly would die. You are in a constant state of spiritual metamorphosis. You are downloading new codes, healing ancestral trauma, and expanding your consciousness. You simply cannot do this work while engaging in small talk at a crowded bar. You need the silence. You need the void. The universe isolates you so that you can become who you are meant to be without the interference of outside opinions or energies. Of course, we live in a physical world. You cannot move to a cave tomorrow. You have a job, a family, and responsibilities. So, how do you survive as a chosen one in a crowded world? You must become a master of energy management. First, you must learn the power of the sacred no. No is not just a word. It is a complete sentence and a spiritual shield. You do not owe anyone an explanation for why you are staying home. Protecting your energy is a valid reason. Stop over-explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Second, visualize your protection. Before you enter a crowded space's supermarket, an office, a family gathering, take 10 seconds to close your eyes. Visualize a sphere of white or golden light surrounding your body. Intend that this light acts as a filter. It allows love and truth to enter, but blocks negativity and draining energy. This sounds simple, but intention is the steering wheel of reality. If you walk in unprotected, you are an open door. If you walk in shielded, you are a fortress. Third, use nature as your cleanser. When you have been around too many people, you will feel staticky or heavy. The fastest way to clear this is to touch the earth, walk barefoot on grass, lean against a tree, or sit by a body of water. Nature transmutes dense human energy instantly. It grounds the excess voltage you absorbed from the crowd back into the earth. One of the greatest fears chosen ones face when they embrace their solitude is the fear of being alone forever. If I stop going to these parties, if I stop hanging out with these old friends who drain me, won't I have no one? Here is the spiritual truth. You have to create a vacuum for the new to enter. As long as your life is cluttered with low vibrational relationships and superficial acquaintances, there is no room for your soul tribe to find you. When you step away from the crowd, you send a signal to the universe that you are ready for alignment. You are raising your standard. And yes, there will be a period of emptiness. This is the hallway between two doors. But once you stabilize in your authentic frequency, you will start to attract a different kind of person. You will meet people who don't drain you, but fuel you. People with whom silence is not awkward, but profound. People who want to talk about the universe, healing, growth, and ideas, not just people and events. You might only find 2 or 3 such people in your lifetime, but one relationship of this depth is worth more than 1,000 superficial acquaintances. Do not fear the loss of the crowd. Celebrate the space it creates for the genuine. Finally, you must remember why you are here. You are not on this planet just to pay bills and die. You have a purpose, a mission to hold light, to break generational curses, to create, to heal. Every ounce of energy you spend trying to tolerate a crowd that doesn't understand you is energy stolen from your mission. If you are exhausted from a Saturday night out that you didn't even enjoy, you have no energy left for your art, your meditation, your business, or your healing on Sunday. You are the guardian of a very precious resource, your own life force. The chosen one path requires you to be ruthless with where you invest that resource. The world needs you awake. It needs you vibrant. It needs you clear-headed. It does not need you polite and drained. So, the next time you feel that urge to retreat, to lock the door and turn off the phone, do not judge yourself. Honor that feeling. It is your soul calling you back to base. It is the universe wrapping its arms around you, shielding you from a noise that does not serve you. You are not antisocial. You are prospirit. You are not weird. You are rare. Stand tall in your solitude. It is there, in the quiet, that you will find the strength to change the world, or at least, to heal your own. If this message was the confirmation you have been waiting for, please claim it now. Subscribe to the channel to join a community that understands the language of energy. Like this video to let the algorithm know that truth matters, and comment below. I embrace my solitude. Declare it to the world and to yourself. Thank you for watching, and remember, the eagle flies alone not because it is lonely, but because the sky belongs to those who dare to fly high. Until next time.